There's balance and a need for it to not be excessive. I'm back! And I have my Mickey ears on because today we are going to be talking about the Disneyland Dad or mom. This is a term that I've heard come up in a ton of blended family conversations. And if you're unfamiliar with it, basically what it is referring to is a non-custodial parent who, when the kids are in their care, will overindulge them and they do all the fun things. Typically, they don't have a set bedtime. They get to eat a bunch of candy or whatever they want, and rules either go out the window or are a lot looser, and the other parent is typically the one who handles all of the boring responsibilities and the hard parts of being a parent and disciplinarian. And this Disneyland parent who sees the child less often and has less responsibility seems to have all the fun. And this is super common and can be a result of guilt, anger at their ex, the desire to win the child over. But I like to give the benefit of the doubt and assume that this type of parent is just really excited for the little bit of time that they do get to spend with their children. And so they just want to make the best of it and have a lot of fun. A lot of times the more responsible parent can feel like they're struggling just with daily living, just to do the things that they can do to provide for their children and their basic needs, and even some little extras that the child will typically take for granted. And it also can be frustrating for the responsible parent because once the children come back into their care, they really have a lot of readjusting to do. The child probably went from having no bedtime and eating foods they don't normally eat to now they have this more regulated and more strict type of routine. And the children may even make comments like, I have more fun at dad's house, or when I'm at mom's, I have way more stuff to do. It's so much more fun. And that can be really hard as the other parent to hear that, because then you start internalizing it and feel like something's wrong or they don't love you as much. And you just have to keep reminding yourself, they are kids. They don't understand the love that you have for them, and they may never verbally acknowledge it. You may never get a big pat on the back, but you know you love your kids and you know that you're doing everything in your power to give them a wonderful life. And so you cannot take that personally, especially when you know that the other parent is being overindulgent or doing something unnecessary. You just have to trust that, you know what, I know what I'm doing is best for my children. I don't know how many times I have to say, don't take it personally. Like I said, I have a few tips for the responsible parent and for the parent who feels like maybe they're more of the fun Disneyland type of parent. So if you're the responsible parent, my advice would be first and foremost to recognize that kids don't naturally see brushing their teeth or eating healthy foods as thrilling.
Woohoo! Big summer blowout!
And you have to stick up for what's right, even if it's not fun or cool or awesome. Like I said, their feelings are not a reflection of you or their love for you. If they only knew how much you loved them for making them go to bed on time, for making them clean their room, making them bathe, if they only knew how much you love them. Okay, number 2 is do not criticize the other parent. In any circumstance, don't criticize the other parent. That's like the big no. And along these lines, don't sarcastically criticize the other parent either, because kids pick up on that. Not criticizing the other parent is so important because you don't want the children to view everything as a competition, parent versus parent, because they're caught in the middle and that's not fair to them, and it's not healthy for them to feel that way, like they're in the middle of this war and this battle for their love. You want your children to be on your same team, and that's why I would recommend, even though you may have those feelings on the inside, handle that on your own. But in front of your kids, be on their same team and say, what an awesome thing that your dad took you to the arcade for 5 hours on Saturday, and that you got to eat every junk food in the world, and you got to watch every show, and you got to go to the carnival and the aquarium and the zoo. That is so great. I'm so glad you got to have that great time with him. Try to be on their same page, like you are rooting for them. It is not a competition. Even if you just feel the feeling of irritation toward that other parent, you have to hold it back for the sake of your children. Be on their same page, even if it's hurting in the moment. And usually the hype dies down after about a day or two after they come back, typically. But it can be hard. Third tip is to use it as an opportunity to grow in humility and in strength of your own. Learning how to love despite maybe not getting recognition back. And you may never get it back, but again, if you know that what you're doing is out of love for your child, you can't go wrong. Number 4 is to make your own memories. Even if you tend to have more of a simple life at home, take lots of pictures. Odds are you probably have a cell phone with a digital camera at your disposal, and it's so easy to take pictures in daily life. Maybe you're not at an amusement park or some fancy event, but taking pictures, even in the basic days of pretty simple things happening, can help you reflect on the good memories and even share those pictures with them down the road, and it helps trigger that good positive memory with them too. And ultimately trying to help your children see the beauty in everyday living, and also gently reminding them, like, you know what, we get to have our fun time when you visit the other parent, and that is so great. When you go with them, it's kind of like you're on vacation. Just reminding them of that, I think, helps too. Okay, now, if you think that you tend to be more of the Disneyland parent, you have a lot of fun with your children when they come, and you're not usually with them during the daily stuff like homework and everything like that. Number 1, I would also say humble yourself by reminding your children that you get to do those extra special things because you don't get to see each other as often. This is so important because, again, no matter what you think of the other parent, you need to be rooting for your child, and you need to do what's best for them, putting yourself aside. Hard to do. Yep, very, very hard to do. But if you do that, it's best for them. Number 2 would be encouraging them to appreciate their other parent. So if you tend to do a lot of fun things, but you know that maybe their mom pays for their tuition and, does their laundry, whatever kind of mundane tasks that happen, make sure you instill a sense of gratitude to your children. Teach them how to respect the men and women in their life. Especially, I would say, for dads, how you treat your children's mother is going to be how they respect women, especially dads and sons, I'm thinking. That's so huge, your example. With everything, it's all about example. And my third and final tip for the Disneyland dad is to consider why you think your behavior is the way it is, why you feel the need to cram in a whole bunch of fun in your weekend instead of just keeping things pretty low key. This way you can address your own emotional and mental needs, because your kids ultimately need a parent. They don't need another friend. And you need to be there as a parent for them, even if your time with them is short. They need to see your example, they need your consistency, and they need discipline. I know it's not fun, especially if you are not with the child as often. It may be really hard to feel like, oh, we only get 3 days together every other weekend. I don't want to tell them no, but you have to do that because, like I said, they need a parent, not a buddy. By the way, it's totally okay to have fun with your children. I am not saying that there's anything wrong with having a blast, tons of fun, or even going to Disney. I love Disney, so trust me, if you have the opportunity to go, you should definitely go. But what I am saying is there's balance and a need for it to not be excessive, and also that just constant theme of one parent being super, super fun and the other one being boring with rules. That is a struggle, but ultimately you can't compete for your child's love. They love you simply for who you are. Every child has the desire to know and have some sort of relationship with their biological parents. It's just rooted in all of us. Sometimes that just can't happen for different circumstances, but Kids need their parents and they want a good relationship with both their mother and father. And so it's important that we can nurture those relationships, honor and respect the other parent, even though we may have disagreements, we may be completely on a different page than they are, but we have to recognize that that is your child's parent and we want them to be able to have the best relationship they possibly can with them. Those are some of my thoughts on that topic. It was a lot of fun getting to wear these ears. I actually do have mini ones, but I couldn't find them when I was looking. But that's okay, maybe in another video. So as always, I'm hoping that this is helpful to somebody, and I thank you so much for watching. See you in the next video, and that is all for now. Bye.